We are live from Bolton Wanderers Football Club. And there you see the magician. He's taken to centre stage, Chris Melling. And he's going to be taking on Neil the Razor Raybone. This is a race to 8 match clock of 50 minutes. A lot of people have been looking forward to seeing this man return to the table. Been travelling around the world, playing in China, America. You name it. If there's a pool table there, Chris Melling's probably been on or over there and played on it. It's quite funny earlier because he did ask me. He said, I've got to remember the rules. He said, can I play back up the table? Can I play? I thought he was taking a mickey. He has to be, but I don't think it'll take him long to regain his usual rhythm. In case anybody missed the match earlier in this main arena. Quite dramatic fight back from Liam White against Sean Chipperfield, getting over the line late in the day, winning a decider from 7-3 down 1-8-7. Incredible result for Liam. Well, Chris Melling hangs the red. He's overcut it. So we get our first glimpse of Neil Raybone. He tried to come off the side cushion there with a load of spin and kick those two yellows out. Not quite enough side at all there for Razor. I'm wondering now if he just drops this in the middle and gets just behind these yellows rather than kick them out. If he can get behind or central to the two of them, he could give himself an angle on the bottom yellow to get down for the yellow at the bottom of the table. Well, he's come a tad too far to do that, but he's still at the table. As my fellow compatriot here comes over, Mr. Jameson. Just
top of the evening,
rustling a chocolate bar into the commentary box, I see.
Well, I don't come empty-handed for you, Tony. Let me tell you. I'm really looking forward to this one, Tony. I think it'll be a really, really good game. But I also am so curious to see how Monsieur Melling is going to perform, because I know he's been a busy old bee of late, doing all manner of exhibitions, of tournaments in different cue sports. He's been all over the world. He's probably coming into this tournament with such low expectations, but everyone else will still have expectations because of who he is. It's not the easiest spot for him, in all honesty. No, well, he hung that red down the rail there, overcut it, which enabled Neil Raybone to get to the table and have this chance, which he's duly going to take. And this was a tricky little out for Neil Raybone. So he's passed his first test. And down goes to black. And Mr. Melling will have to wait another frame. Here's an interesting match. Pro Series 1 champion Aaron Davies. He's taking on Carl Morris. 1-0 in this one to Aaron. So I assume they've been playing for the better part of 45 minutes.
Well, I'm sure these two played each other at the Players' Championship the other week in Redhill on one of the side tables. And I think that could have lasted about 3 hours.
One for the purists. Break from Razor was a decent hit, but not exactly what he would have wanted. It's not the greatest leave, which feels like a little bit second prize whenever you invite Chris Melling to the table. And he is going to pass up the opportunity. In very Chris Melling style, he went all out for the very tough finish. Knew he had to play a very tough shot to do it. This is it. Yeah, just... There's so much going on there. It is the pot, if he just has to make the pot, is unmissable, but all the action he was getting into the cue ball was the real tariff in that shot, and Neil's missed his cannon. So he's been able to make the red, but didn't bump the other one out, and that's still a big problem for the Razor.
Yeah, he's still going to have to move that red on the left-hand side of the table.
Oh, tried to do it there, got the cannon. And how often do we see it? When you're concentrating on a cue ball, those pots just become that degree harder. Frustration for Raybone. Now Chris Melling has his own ball in that section of the table to worry about. Can maybe move it now. Lots bottom. That's pretty good.
As long as he's on it. I think he's landed halfway between the pair here. I don't think the nearest one to the cue ball goes in the middle. And the other one, I don't think you can see enough of it, or can he? No, he's digging down. Had to make that with a bit of bend there on the cue ball.
Still got half a shot to play here to go coast to coast between these two yellows. How else he played that gap?
Yeah, brilliant shot there from Chris.
That's such a touchy shot. Considering he's played an awful lot of not English pool in the last sort of month, that really is impressive. It's a sort of shot that's exactly the sort of shot that can catch you out when you come back after playing with the heavier balls and all the rest of it. But I know he's been a busy bee, playing not just Chinese 8-ball, he has been playing a lot of English as well. His exhibitions have been relentless since he's been back in the UK. As we take a look at table 2 here, this is former world champion Marion Zhu taking on Vicky Lomax. She's 3-1 in front, looking to go 4. Needs to get this shot right, and she could be in business. Small gap to find, mind. Yeah.
Yeah, she's landed very straight there.
I actually wonder if there's a gap between the red and the 8-ball, and you can try and maybe land straight into the yellow. She's going the other way. I just think the 8-ball's really hard to land on that way.
Yeah, I think she put the cue ball quite close to that cushion as well there. As we rejoin Chris Melling.
Dry break for the Magician. Caught them pretty well as well. Can't really ask for too much more than that.
Well, yellows look quite pleasant for me. Just need to move the black and the yellow in the middle of the table. Well, he's taking reds. Well, that red must obviously pass between the two yellows at the bottom of the table, which then makes reds the better colour because you haven't got to move any. If that's the case, the black must pass through those two yellows as well into that corner. So Neil going through the balls quite quickly. He just wants to pick this one off into the middle here and just gently go into the 8-ball. I think I prefer playing the one beneath it now and get it out of the way.
Yeah, that feels like a bigger ball.
They can knock this yellow into a bad position. No, he played it well.
Yeah, it is well judged. He had a good win early in Neil Raybone's first match for Chris Melling. He had a bye in round 1, but Neil is battle hardened in a sense. He came through Jimmy Croxton in round 1, 8-3. Brilliant performance that from Neil, who has been just trying to find a little bit of rhythm and confidence of late. Such a quality player, former European champion in what many consider that golden era of the early 2000s. I think it's 2009 or 11 maybe that Neil won that title. I struggle to remember, but the point being that all of the so-called greats, the likes of Melling, Hill, Potts, all the rest of them, Holgate, we're all still playing. And Neil since went on to become a #1 player on the top blackball circuit at the time, just before the pandemic. And coming into Ultimate Pool, he was seen as one of the real heavy hitters and fancied to win big titles, but he hasn't. And well, he also has not done many shots like that. Despite that fact, that is a massive miss from Neil.
Yeah, it's not a great shot.
I always think with Neil, what I've always admired about him is, it sounds like an odd compliment to give, but I always feel like he plays to his level exceptionally. Like, he's very, very, very good, and you almost know what you're going to get. He never doesn't get a finish that you feel like he's supposed to get.
Yeah.
But that was a real jarring one, because that was absolutely a finish he was supposed to get. Chris not going to hang about on these.
No. Yeah, he's got a nice crowd out there, Chris, to entertain as well if he can.
Yeah, it won't be part of his makeup, but it will be absolutely, whenever an opponent makes a mistake like that, it's Chris's natural pace to play quick. I do think there's a bit of an intimidation game going on there as well. Just to say, oh, you've messed up, have you? Watch this. Bang, 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 bang. Make you feel even worse about it, because he's making the game look effortless. Might even be subconscious, I'm not sure, but the effect still holds the same. Hit Patel did get it back to 6-5 against Craig Waddingham, who's now gone on the hill.
Tell you what, he's got a very good opportunity to get it back to 7-6 as well now. It's hit him.
Neil breaking in this one. Frame 4, this was it. Very good break, in all honesty, and a golden break, which you don't see too many of. 8-ball will come back up, though. It's not Monday night. Not a rule, the golden break. An important one to remember that. international rules. There's absolutely nothing in it about a golden break. It's just something Ultimate Pool invented, really, for a Monday night. Just as a bit of an X factor.
And a golden duck.
Yeah, into those fun, shorter style tournaments. It's a nice shot from Neil, hit a good gap. This visit to the table's massive for me in the match for Neil, because that 8-ball would have really hurt him. And if he gets out here, he can put it out of his mind. But if he doesn't, it is all he'll be thinking about. And the match could unravel on him quick.
Yeah, this is decent. He's got a decent angle here. Pots the yellow into the middle, punches the cue ball over a little bit. Yellow in the same middle, it's next to him. Wanted to come a little bit further. Just cutting this back into the centre bag. Cue ball down off the top rail. He's got to be mindful with the cue ball. He has got plenty of room, so. Put a fair bit aside on that, but this is fine. Plays this yellow into the bottom left. Screws the cue ball into the side rail, and the black will go in the same bag. He's played it gently. Same outcome, and in goes the black. And Neil Raybone pulls level with the magician. 2-2. Well, that'll cheer him up a bit after missing that black in the previous frame as we wander over to look at Cole Morris against Aaron Davis, the cyborg.
Only one frame been played since we were last here.
I can see it, 2-0.
Yeah.
Just to the side of them, you can see Marion Jude.
4-2, I think that is now for Marion against Vicky Lomax. I'm assuming Carl is on reds. I have to assume he's trying to make this red.
No, he's not. He's on yellows.
Oh, for goodness sake. We've just seen Melling clear those in 15 seconds.
I know.
Horses for courses and all that. Melling is going to break dry again.
Yeah, it's tough in the face.
Yeah, and you can understand that. He's doing enough to make a ball.
Once again, when Chris Melling has broken dry, he's leaving a nice split for Neil Raybone.
We've seen an awful lot of Neil Raybone at the table so far. We've not seen a whole lot of Chris Melling, and that will be frustrating for him, without question.
And the match is 2-2.
Yeah. Neil has had the lion's share of the chances. There's no mistake about that.
And this is solid from Neil. Just rolls this red into the bottom right, and then it'll cut the ball down the rail into the same pocket, bring the cue ball over for the one at the bottom of the table. And then I think that's when Neil will make the decision which pocket he wants the black ball in. Get on this red, don't get straight. In fact, that's not too bad. I think he can just borrow a tiny bit of bag anyway. But he's got the choice. He can go forwards, off the side rail, come back and have the black in the left-hand middle. I think he does have the angle to screw back and have the black in the other, and that's what he's chosen. And this is going to be 3-2, Neil Raybone. Reverse finish from the Melling break. It will be Neil to break next. Chris unmoved, but he will be unhappy.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of looking at it. It's just that sort of slight feeling of frustration that it's not really going his way. As we see Craig Waddingham very much going his way. He's on the hill and he's got a great chance here to go and get the match won against Hitan Patel. He's fought pretty hard. Waddingham would have been a handy favourite going into that match, but Hitan has really made him work for it. So Craig Waddingham looks like he is about to get that one done.
Really good break there from Neil Raybone. Reds immediately look fantastic, but the yellows have sort of formed a guard of honour around the black ball.
Yeah, it's not particularly a kind layout, this, is it?
No.
He's going to go, and it will be yellows. That's not a huge surprise. He knows he's going to have to move the one for the 8-ball anyway, so why not sort of be that suit? It's one that needs a figuring out. I wonder if his plan is to just land underneath that little cluster of 3 balls, take the leftmost yellow to the middle and just softly bump into the 8, or even the yellow. Just doesn't need to do too much to get it out in the open.
If that yellow was just, if it slides past the one that's near the corner pocket, you want to pop the one in the middle and leave an angle, play that down the rail and then roll into the black and those 2 yellows. So that's the burning question. Obviously not, and he's gone straight into them there and then, and that's pretty good. I think he has to play the one over the pocket now as he sits on the table.
He has worked these out beautifully.
Lovely pace into that shot there from Neil. Judged it to perfection. Now just a tap in the middle and a simple black ball.
He really has worked these well, Neil. Just really smooth. Heart of the pocket, pumps it in. And the razor is certainly looking sharp.
Yeah, 3 in a row. Melling can't get a ball off the break. That's his problem as we look at Carl Morris against...
Aaron Davies went on and won that frame that Carl was at the table at. Oh. How on earth?
I don't know. It looked impossible.
Well, they call him Houdini.
Yeah, very good. But that's Aaron. I thought they called him Cyborg. Melling.
Oh, changed his break. Oh, that's such a... It's a work of art, that break from Chris. I love it. It's so, so good. front ball and he parks it centre of the table with the topspin. It's just brilliant. It's so aesthetically pleasing as a break.
Yeah, that was great to watch that back on the replay. See that spin that Chris Melling can generate in his break shot, and he's wasting no time knocking these yellows in either.
No, he won't.
This is a statement.
Yeah, he's going to say to Neil, yeah, you've cleared up, I see what you're doing, you've had all the chances, watch this. This is how easy he makes the game look. And it's worth pointing out, anyone who's ever played on a full table before, it's not that simple.
Yeah, that was naughty there for Chris a little bit.
Look at him. He's having such a nice time. He often thinks, because he is Chris Melling, he often thinks that the game is too easy. He said as much before, whether it be in interviews or on commentary. You know, he wants the game making harder. But it's worth pointing out, not everyone finds the game as easy as he does.
No.
He really does have a streak of, I think, a genuine genius in him. He's fabulous to watch. The way he sees it, the way he executes it, just magnificent. His brain just works. It feels like at least twice as quick as anybody else's, if not quicker.
And now who's going dry? It's Raybone. And a big puff of the cheeks there from Neil, because he knows what's coming now.
Yeah, start your engine, by the way.
Yeah.
There's some fun and games to come here.
Those two wedges collided by that middle, which stopped both of them going in. He's taking a bit of care because obviously there's a problem with the two balls stuck together at the bottom right of the table. I'm sure Chris will use his extension, which he has.
I don't think he's messing about.
He's going yellows.
It's a nice little gap he's found. He's on the one to left centre that's furthest away from the pocket. That would be a touch for him. Oh, that's a lovely shot.
That's sublime.
Oh, has he landed awkward? Well, yes, he has.
He'll have to bend it again. Playing the plant.
Nothing surprises me with Christopher.
Yeah, he's played that well.
Yeah, didn't he?
It's tricky.
Just? Yeah, fiddly one.
You fancy him to get it because it's actually the nicer angle. If it was one where you're going blind it and trying to make the plant, it's a lot tougher. And he always knew he was getting on his next ball.
Yeah, that was nice.
It's a bit straight. Mind you, this man has got some cue power if he needs to generate some movement from that cue ball.
Yeah, and he's using like 10% of it on these shots as well.
Screwed to the red. No, he's gone up the table. I wonder if he's just going to screw it to the red and leave the cue ball stuck to it at the side there, because he doesn't miss many pots, doesn't Chris? And boom, in it goes again.
Yeah, he's starting to enjoy himself now. He's getting on the table. Makes a difference.
4-all. He was 4-2 up, Raybone, and just watch these last two frames whistle by.
You've got to, if you kneel, just hold your nerve almost. Like Chris is going to try and intimidate you in that way. Not in a sort of, not in like a mean way, just in a sort of bravado sort of way, really. You know, he's the sort of player, because he plays so quick. There's a fair few on the tour who have this effect, who have this almost aura around the table, where they really can be a bit of a bully. But Neil's just got to keep on doing what he's doing. He's playing well in this game. He's well in it. Oh, Chris didn't get that break right that time. Wouldn't you know it, he's made a couple of balls and has a great chance. silly old game.
Yeah, he just put his hand up.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah.
He didn't get this one right at all. It's sort of justice in a way, because he knows he had 2 or 3 that he hit earlier that were great that didn't get rewarded. So, you know, it sometimes balances itself out. But this is a great chance.
Well, for me, I don't think it needed an apology. I think the break has an air of luck about it anyway, that shot.
Yeah, of course it does.
So, you know, nobody runs over to you and say unlucky if you've gone in off.
Oh, just falls in. Which gives us that look. I don't know where he thinks it rolled off there or something, but it barely fell in off the jaw. He was worried about the speed, I'm not sure. It was close to missing, which I think might have been his bigger concern.
He's got to be a little bit careful here when he gets onto his last red, because he needs to make sure he leaves the correct angle to get down for that black ball. So there was no blasé gallop there. Yes, and he's done well.
Yeah, it's a nice shot.
2 cushions. 3 for good measure.
It's a great line he's found there, isn't it? Oh, that's
Great
such
shot.
a good shot. Yeah, fabulous from Chris Melling. And from being 4-2 down, he now leads by 5 frames to 4. And just for good measure there, Ortiz-Tesgal gives that area of the table a little wipe with the referee's glove. Maybe he feels there was a finger mark. And I can lip read Chris Melling. And what he just said was, that were going straight in pocket. that was the face that he pulled.
Yeah.
Because it nearly missed. It hit the far jaw.
Yeah.
But he did play it at absolute pocket weight, and that can, you know,
Well,
those are the types of shots where it can deviate ever so slightly and make a massive difference.
What will happen later tomorrow and also on Sunday when we get later into the tournament, because that cloth will have worn in a little bit, is you'll see them hang. This is the first day's play on a brand new cloth with shiny new pool balls.
That's a great break from Neil.
That was a really good break.
That's his best break of the match by quite a distance,
Yeah.
I would lightly suggest.
Yeah, that's a frame over break, that one.
Yeah, really gets through that nicely. First time he's really, really nailed his cue ball, which will be a satisfying one for him.
See John Chambers just sat there in the background. He'll be on next.
Yeah, looking forward to that match as well. Oh, Neil!
Oh no.
Oh, Neil.
That is absolute disaster.
I can't believe he's missed it.
He's just hit it too thin.
I wonder if he was a little worried about the yellow he was sliding past. Because he had to be close to it, but even so, it's a bad one, that, isn't it?
That's one's going to smart.
Yeah, especially when you've just lost 3 straight.
To a man who's now clearing up from nowhere. Well, not clearing up from nowhere, but he's starting to find his rhythm. Just stops this cue ball dead here.
Not easy for him to do. Often says that because of the huge loopy backswing that he has. Actually can be very difficult. Oh, that one just made it. That one just made it. Held up for Neil and it falls in for Chris.
Yeah, well, Chris's was a heck of a lot closer to the pocket and also going at less pace. Neil looks to the skies.
Yeah, sees his face up on the big screen as well.
Yeah.
And he knows that me and you are talking rubbish about him. As we take a look at Marion Jude. Vicky Lomax is making a bit of a comeback in this one. This one was 4-1, it's now 5-3. It's Vicky at the table as well. little bit of work to do for Marion. Aaron Davies, Carl Morris is at 3-2, by the way, if in case you're wondering.
Nice shot there from Vicky as we just leave that to come back to the main event.
It's not exactly an apples and apples comparison because obviously Chris Melling plays quicker than Carl Morris and Aaron Davies. But that match was 1-0 when we started here and we played 10 frames.
Yeah. Yeah.
Goes to show just how quickly Neil and indeed Chris have played on this 30-second shot clock.
Yeah,
Chris with a chance to put himself on the hill here.
It's been all finish, one mistake and then punished, if you like. If you look, we've only just got halfway through, or just over halfway through the match clock.
We could easily play a full 15 frames here, easily. We might be able to do that before the 15-second shot clock if they really wanted to. That's how quickly these two have gone through it. It's a nice shot from Chris. I don't think he was looking for the cannon there. Just to bring you up to speed with a couple of results in a moment as Chris continues
His onslaught.
Yeah, it's a good word. Made sure that one went in the heart of the pocket. In goes the 8-ball. 7-4. Neil Raybone was 4-2 in front. Chris Melling has rattled off the last 5 straight without even breaking a sweat. Okay, so results. Tom Cousins is into the last 16. He beat Christophe Lambert 8-4. Brian Halcrow is out. He lost to Phil Harrison 8-5. Josh Kane having a good run. Not seeing him yet on a TV table, but that'll change in the next round. He beat Kyle Cope 8-4. Liam White, we saw, came through Sean Chipperfield 8-7. Carl Sutton has knocked out Greg Batten 8-4 win for Carlos. Craig Waddingham through against Hitton Patel 8-6. Matches on at the moment. Aaron Davies 3, Carl Morris 2. Darryl Whitworth, Eddie Barker is a match that's just gone on. That's 0-0 as we see John Chambers and Cohen Bradford seeing their faces up in lights. Phil Parkin versus Rob Warren is a match that is currently 1 each. Still to come tonight in the last 32 before we all go to beds. Across the full draw, we've got Matt Cook, Shane Thompson, Ian Alley, John Chambers, we'll see that here. Jez Gray and Dylan Leary, Callum Singleton, Jaden Billingham, we'll see that here. And Christy Caulfield, Andrew Patchett, Tom Jones, Rab McCullough, as we take a look at this frame where Neil Raybone has himself first chance in it, and he needs to take this and all of his remaining chances to have any hope.
Absolutely.
Sounds easy, doesn't it, when you put it like that?
It does. Just looking at the table now, Neil Raybone. The only real problem is the red in the middle of the table. And that is now no longer such a problem.
Yeah, he plays that sort of shot really, really well, Neil. It's why he's made a couple of mistakes in this match, and they've been really jarring because he's so good at these type of finishes. He's very, very clinical. Worth pointing out, we've been showing you clips of the Aaron Davies Carl Morris match in the gaps between frames here, and it's worth pointing out that the winner of that match will play the winner of this one. Whoever it'll be, it could be a bit of a styles clash. Although I should point out that the Neil you get on the TV table is not the Neil you get on an untimed table.
No.
Like, it's watching two different players, honestly. That's a nice shot, gets himself the angle to come up high. On the reds, 8-ball waiting. That's where he wants to be.
Yeah, it's fine, just pots this now. Screw him right hand side here. Cubel into the rail as it cuts the red up, will come back diagonally towards that middle bag, but you won't hit it hard enough to get there. Oh,
Oh, no
Well.
way.
Is that a plant? Can he make it? Is it an offset plant? We can hit the opposite side of the front yellow and push it. We'll have another look at the jawed red. It just clipped the knuckle just before. So this plant, Chris is eyeing up. I don't think he likes those. You can. That is an offset plant. If you play it, as Chris would look at it, he'd play it on the left-hand side. It would make that plant.
He played to move that. He doesn't love it. He doesn't fancy it at all. You can definitely squeeze it, but it's not exactly one you'd be super...
That, I'm telling you, you hit. So as we're looking at it, hit on the right-hand side of it. You'll spin it over. Like that.
Yeah, he's played it well. He didn't like it.
It's easy.
But he had to get along with it.
Even I'd have gone out there, give me the cue.
You don't need...
That's for the crowd, that one.
He's got a half a shot to play here. But he's...
Right, he comes off the 2 rails.
He's in perfect
You can
shape
actually
for
screw inside into the first row there. So it's a prettier shot, that one.
it. Yeah, and he'll always go for the prettier shot.
Yeah. That's like, you know, the topiary tree from the flower shop, that one.
Oh. Here we go.
Been class, he's been class, has to say.
Hasn't missed a beat, Chris Melling. That was impressive indeed. The Magician through into the last 16 of the Pro Series with a fantastic performance